Hi everyone, this is Lisa Haven, and by now I'm sure you guys have heard about the Brexit, the British exit from the European Union. The UK has left the EU. This is huge. And I meant to do a video actually on this a day ago, but I got a little busy, so I'm just now getting this out. But this is a huge event, and I think we need to just keep that in the back of our minds, because here's the thing. What the UK has literally done is they've stomped on the heads of the globalists and the elite, and basically in a nutshell, screw you, so to speak, excuse my French there, but stomping on the heads of the globalists and saying, we're going to have our freedom, we're going to have our independence, and we're going to be a country all of our own outside of the New World Order agenda EU wants to push. That is huge. Now, thus far, they have exited, but I must warn you, that will not come without a fight back from the globalists and the elite. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But here's the thing we need to think about. Thus far, UK has done it, but there's also 5 or 6, I believe, other countries talking currently, or that could possibly leave the EU as well. This is huge. We need to stand against all antics of the New World Order. And let's take a hint from the United Kingdom here in America. And I say we here in America start our petition to get the hell out of the United Nations, a global organization. We need to just leave that and become our own independent, free country again, apart from these globalist New World Order that want to initiate disarmament all across the world. That means they want to get rid of your guns, your everything, your weapons, your guns, all of your self-defense, so to speak, stuff, and put it in the hands of only them. They will have the guns. They will be in charge. So therefore, people can't fight back because they're disarmed. That's the idea behind it. Now, if you go to the United Nations, they have an entire disarmament page dedicated directly to disarmament. This video is not about that, but if you want to Google it, you go UN disarmament page. It'll take you right to the UN disarmament page, and you can see it for yourself. But I say, let's as American take a play from the UK and get the heck out of the UN. And I know all of you guys out there will 100% agree with that. This is huge. Now, I want to show you some news reports on the Brexit, and then I'm going to come back and discuss that a little more detail. So let's delve into those reports. All right, so here's the first report on King's World News, and I want to show you this first and foremost because what it contains is an email from a person in Yorkshire about the Brexit, and I think it's going to make us all go, yeah. So I wanted to read that, but this is on King World News, a stunning email about the Brexit vote as elite and global collapse edges closer. The elite panic as the elite panic. That's huge. All right, here's the email that I want to read, and I highly encourage you to go to these websites and read them in their entirety because I'm only given a pinch, but I wanted to share this. And this was a letter sent to King World News from a person in Yorkshire. It says, please, please, please do not listen to the distorted views of the mainstream media. Yes, immigration is a major problem, obviously everywhere, but not the reason why we voted to leave the EU. We as a people have demanded our country back from the unelected elites, UN, that we don't elect those people, which have become our masters. Same like the EU. The EU to them, a bunch of unelected people from them, and they're trying to take over. That's exactly what it is. An unelected EU government with no opposition, with the power to make our laws and determine how we live our lives. Immigration is a second topic. The economy is secondary. If we are worse off, we will live with our decision. Amen. Amen. If we suffer, so be it. Amen. Look, freedom isn't free. Freedom must be fought for. We have to fight for our freedom. It's not free. That's the thing. People have died. Oh, no, wait. Go back. Our freedom and the freedom of our children is much more important. People have died in the millions to fight for this basic right. Agreed. We have given a shining example of democracy to the world. We have put our country and our future above individual interests. The British lion has awakened from its long sleep. Today, I have never been more proud of the silent dissent Britain who stood up to be counted. Wow, those are very strong words. That's music to my ears. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And guess what? The elite are panicking. All of you know who this is. This is on Reuters.com. You can see the link there, or Reuters, I believe. I don't know, I always mix that up. But investor George Soros calls for reconstruction of the EU after the Brexit vote. There is the famous guy. I think he's on his deathbed at some point soon. You know, he looks really old. But nonetheless, anything that this man says to do, we pretty much need to do the opposite of. So if he's pushing for the EU, you can betcha we're not. I'm not. Pushing for the EU. Also, now it's like a virus has caught on over there, a good virus, might I say. Britain has left the EU, you can see, and this is at the Washington Post, but these countries could be next. What are those countries? Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, France, Hungary, and Greece. Now they go into detail down below on these countries, why they could be next, and lots of great rebuttals and information there. I highly encourage you to come check that out as well. But I hope, in all honesty, it catches on like wildfire and they start leaving the EU and say, forget the New World Order. Moving on, here's one from CNN, not my favorite site. Clinton, this is like a Clinton-backed site in my opinion, but Brexit, EU leaders demand quick UK exit as economic fallout grows. Now here's the thing, we know that the pound has fallen quite significantly in the past couple of days. We know that with the exit of the United Kingdom, there's going to be economic turmoil, and there's going to be a lot of other things, because I predict that the globalists are ticked off. No, we all know they're ticked off. And they have an agenda and they have a plan, and they're going to fight back full force against the UK. All right, here's another one. This is on www.ft.com. It's on banks. Banks begin moving operations out of Britain. The EU will treat Britain like Greece. This is on telegraph.co.uk. The Telegraph here. Wow, they're going to treat them like Greece. Okay, that's just a tip, but that's not all. Now, there's also a petition going out, and this is on naturalnews.com. It's also on Breitbart, but it's globalists now trying to steal Brexit vote by nullifying the results. Democracy on the brink. What's going on here is basically, if you read in this report, please check this one out as well. They're attempting to sign a petition to redo the first referendum, calling for a second vote, a second referendum there in Britain. And so they're gaining signatures all across the country. Hopefully it doesn't go anywhere, but here's the one on Breitbart.com. 3 million plus Remain petitions uses script to fake signatures. They're even going this low as to fake some of the signatures on there. 25,000 from North Korea. Oh, let me think about that. 2,800 from uninhabitable Antarctica. So they're going to fake these signatures, and let's just put 25,000 from a country that has nothing to do with the do, and Antarctica. Interesting reports there. So there you have it. We have the elite in a panic, in an uproar. What is going on? So much so that they're even getting fake petitions signed, as you saw a moment ago, or fake names put on the petition. The petition ain't fake. But nonetheless, here's the thing. Here's my personal, I guess, prediction. I have been studying this stuff for quite some time. But the globalists, the elite, the New World Order is pissed off. They don't like this. And they're not going to like the fact if America finally stands up against the United Nations and says, we're leaving the UN. We need to leave the UN. And if those other 5, 6, some odd countries follow suit with the UK, well, the globalists are in big trouble. Then what? Well, it could cause a lot of economic repercussions. We have to know that going in, that is what happens. A lot of other things could, but look, it's in the name of freedom. Freedom isn't free. It comes with a cost. And I will fight for it tooth and nail forever, amen, for my sake, for my children's sake. And I won't sit under a tyrannical government telling us to do this and do that. It's not freedom, it's bondage. We would be in bondage under a system like that. And that's where we're headed. And we need to stand against it, just like the UK did. And hopefully those other countries join suit. And hopefully it catches like wildfire. And I personally think this is a big push for Donald Trump. And it's, you know, because he stands for freedom. And I personally like him. I hope, I definitely don't want Hitler in office for sure, because we will be going to hell in a handbasket. Now, my personal prediction, back to that, when you tick off the globalists, when you tick off the elite, when you tick off those kinds of people like the UK has done, like I'm hoping America will eventually do, well, they are not going to take it sitting down. They're not. Something big they're going to cause to happen. Look, they've got pretty big weaponry. They've got nukes, for crying out loud, in their possession. They have HARP, we know, that messes with the weather. And now CERN, which there's a lot of theories and things on CERN even. We know it's, well, there's a lot more detail to that. But nonetheless, they've got major things at their disposal. So what could happen? Well, if it starts catching on more and more, first off, they could fight the UK and put a bunch of laws, and who knows? They could fight it with the UK and something could happen that forces the UK back. I hope that's not the case. I don't know that that will be the way it goes, but only time will tell. I don't know. I don't know. So with that part, that could go a few different directions, but they have exited as it sits. And here's the other way it could go. Well, the globalists start seeing this thing catch on like wildfire. They're going to set off something big, be it some kind of weather issue, you know, some kind of major natural disaster or a man-made disaster for a nuke, something like that that takes out a big portion. Or maybe they sent more of their terrorist ring. We know that ISIS, Hamas, all of them work with the CIA here in America. They're sending them weapons, for crying out loud. That's not even a conspiracy theory, that's a fact. But I do believe that, my personal take is that ISIS, Hamas, and all the Islamic extremism kind of works under the banner of the globalist as well. So it's not just here in America. I believe they work for other countries to accomplish an end game, a goal. They're just a pawn piece, and when the globalists are done with them, they'll take them out. Okay, but for now, maybe they'll let them loose across the world, cause a terrorist problem. Now, this is just a theory. I'm not saying this will happen. So don't come back and say, you said, I said it's a theory. That they will start unleashing more stuff across the world, more terrorist threats, more terrorist activity, more terrorism. And then the world will cry out, we need a new world order to save the day. That's the idea. You piss off powerful people, you're going to have some pretty crazy things coming your way. So just be prepared for that because it's not going to go without a fight. Now, that's just a few ways it could go. So there you have it. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on the Brexit. And quite frankly, I'm excited. Anytime a country stands against the globalists, I say go for it, and we need to leave the UN. Don't forget, by the way, to go and get prepared with food storage. I use foodforliberty.com/Haven. The food tastes good. I have it. I've got some of it in my home with stuff in it that we save in the event of a crisis like this. Because listen, if things get down to the wire, like I said, we don't know what kind of event it would spark. At least have food on hand in the event of a crisis. You don't want to be one of those waiting in a line. Say if they allow the economy to topple, that's another way it could go. The globalists will say, oh, we're going to let loose the economy. Well, that's a big possibility too. And then we'll have a global meltdown of economy and we'll be claiming for a new world order. This is for those who are asleep. Let me put that straight. Us who are awake will not be crying for that. we'll be surviving with our food and all that stuff. So that's why I encourage you to do it, because when it does hit the fan, you need to be prepared. If not Food for Liberty, get someone. But foodforliberty.com/Haven is my partner. Great stuff. Also, getthetea.com, my other partner, separate. These are separate. He has got some great products right now. He's started a brand new line of like olive leaf extract. I really like. It's a liquid that you can take, and it just really helps with immune support and, you know, energy and all of that great stuff. Tastes great as well. Also the detox on the tea, so make sure you check that out. And he is still running the special this whole entire month. So if you call in, and it's selected randomly, so far I've had four people get stuff free already. So if you call in, mention my name, Lisa Haven, you might be the next in line to receive that. Not everyone does. It's selected randomly again. Well, thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Lisa Haven signing off.